Okay, hi, here we are. And we're going to paint this guy. Uh, so I'm going to start out with just some yellow washes and then some red and then some blue. Well, maybe more red. We'll see. But we know all these greens will have yellow in them. And they could be a nice kind of bright green. This straw hat is something much softer. It's more like a raw sienna, but I don't want to use raw sienna. I'm gonna start out with new gamboge and new gamboge on into the skin areas. And we're going to need a little bit of yellow even here in the beard, but not as much. So let's see how we might want to do that. This background, could be a little more exciting if we painted it on dry paper. Okay, well, let's get a little bit smaller brush. Let's see how this could work. I don't have a particular, I'm just going to sort of imitate these bushes. And I'm not going to worry about this pole. Maybe I'll paint around it, maybe I won't. So just by getting some like little places on here, these are like little, well, it makes sort of a leaf texture because I'm not going solid. Well, maybe part of it will be solid, but up here at the edges, I could dance that around. I could have gone ahead and mixed a green there. Maybe that would have been smarter. Oh, who knows? I don't want to get too carried away with being smart about it. Ha ha ha. So here, let's say, so what I'm using here is I'm using Nicolazo. I've seen some great stuff lately that I'm pretty sure was done with Nicolazo. I think more and more people are using just the pure stuff now or mixing colors with it. I just put a touch of that back in here behind those glasses. Alrighty, so let's go over and let's pick up the new gamboge. Doesn't almost, because they're yellows and they're not very strong, it almost, oops, that's supposed to be a hat band there. Well, it's going to be a very dark hat band anyway, so it doesn't, we'll just go ahead and leave the yellow in it. So again, I'm being kind of spotty with this. This is a straw hat, and it's going to be a pain in the butt. Well, it probably isn't going to be because we're going to look for a way to shortcut it, but I don't have that worked out. Okay, so I've got a little bit of yellow in here. It's pretty light. Now on his skin, I think I'll go to a little bit larger brush. So since I'm working wet on dry, I'm going to continue working wet on dry. But what I'm doing here is I'm adding water to this yellow. I want to be sure that it comes out pretty pale. And his skin is actually in a lot of shadow. So I said pretty pale, but I didn't mean it. I sort of mean it. So all of this area, we'll go ahead and keep that all yellow. In fact, we're going to keep this yellow too. We're just going to thin it out a little extra more, because this is a shadowed gray and it's going to have some yellow in it. Let's see, get that tip of that nose. Right there like that. Oh, his neck. That is his neck, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, like that. And then let's get some, oops, new gamboge again. Let's stick with the new gamboge. Don't dip in the wrong stuff, Anne. The hands are in quite a bit of shadow here. Maybe that new gamboge could be just a little bit stronger. And it's not like it's going to make a big difference one way or the other. But sometimes people get way too much yellow or way too little, and then that does create more of a problem. And then the fingers actually, let's get that a little stronger up in here. And then as we go out on the fingers, we're going to get a little bit lighter again because there's more light hitting them out here. And you notice I'm not taking terrible pains to stay in the lines or anything. We're just getting some splashes of color on here. Okay, so there's the fingers. And then, well, here's some more. There's some grass and stuff in here. And I don't know what this is. This is some kind of patio thing. And I don't really care what it is. It can make a nice shape in here. But I think I'm going to make it a grass shape. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to use this line right here and here. It just means that I might change the shade of the grass or something. Yeah, so let's just... And if these bleed together a little bit or something, that'll be cool too. That's no big deal. I might even like it. Let's see, maybe we'll just throw a little bit of spatters back there. Oh, see, that's vegetation-like already, isn't it? Okay. Neck's pretty dark too. Let's just pull. You got to be careful though when you go back. There needs to still be sheen there if you don't want a run back. Okay, that was step one. See, we didn't go straight to a peach color. We're doing this a little bit more of a complicated way. Oh, we could put a little yellow in that little dingy thing right there. Okay, that was step one. Stop, drop, and dry. Okay, so this is dry. And let's put some reds on. Let's see. How should we do this? I think I'll go ahead and stick with Quinn Coral for his skin. And then we really need, oh, that's kind of a nice color. Don't need that right now though. So, for the hat, we could work with raw sienna on this, and that would be a good choice. I'm sort of working with, right now with stacking these colors. So that is layering them. So I think instead, because I've got a yellow down there, I think I'll pick a little bit of alizarin. You could use Queen Rose. Let's see, just a little bit of alizarin, and let's just put a touch of cerulean in it. Let's see what that would do, because I think that will make a red, sort of, and it's going to calm down. Let's test it on the hat band. It looks a little off. I think I'll go with it though. So I'm just been kind of loose with it, but that's approximately it. Something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead with the coral. I don't care if these run into each other a little bit. So again, we're going over the eye area. Not that we have any real whites of the eyes showing anyway, but I always remind people that I don't hold out for the eyes at this point. Almost ever. I'm sure there's going to be an exception to the rule, but almost ever. So the thing is, as we get down into this mustache area and the lips, and see, this is wet enough that I could still just come back with water. And I want a little bit. A little bit of this down here. So the thing is, this is going to turn into a neutral gray for his mustache eventually, mustache and beard. His neck is a bit more colorful, and I might go ahead and layer a little bit more color in that on that neck. The necks are supposed to be cool, but you know, we old people, well, maybe I shouldn't say we, you old people, you develop a little bit of sun damage and stuff, and so it gets a little redder. And he's probably out in the heat too. There, that works for me. So let's do the same thing to the hands, and let's just not leave the grapes out. We'll just go ahead and get a little bit of red in here on the grapes. After all, they're going to be purple. You notice I didn't put any yellow on the grapes. I could have, because these grapes are very dark and they're not bright. But I think that we will start out with kind of a bright purple for those, and then we will decide how much we want to modify that. Because I don't think we want it as dark as what's in the photo. Because photos have a lot of black in them. And I want this to be happy. I've been happy all week, so why stop now? Okay. There. I missed a spot or two there. Well, you know what? Let's just... Why not? A little bit of background something. Who knows what that is? You know, that shirt's kind of purpley too. Should we put reds in that? Nah. Okay. So, it's time to dry it. Yeah, that hat's going to be interesting, because the problem with the hat is suggesting that straw without overly defining it. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Okay. Well, I just spotted something on this. You know, these are always like my first time out on these. I don't do one ahead, so I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. I'm looking at him, and I'm seeing where I'm missing an opportunity. I think there's a little bit more mustache hair right out here that it's blending in with the background so much we can hardly see it. But again, it's very light all along here, and I'm really missing an opportunity to have a really nice highlight there. Because remember, that can help pop the picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fluff this out a little bit. I think this should come out, oh, maybe about like that, as opposed to the drawing that I sent you. So I'm going to take a lifting brush, and I'm going to see how much of my O-line will lift. And I've made mine kind of on the dark side because I wanted this to show up on the video. It doesn't have to go white, but I want it to go lighter than what I've got there, so that maybe we can do something a little more dramatic with that. Oh, that looks good. Okay, so now I have to go dry that. And I did a little touch up over what I had done here. I had sort of gotten careless with the edges here. Just this little area, because this little area is really kind of lost there. You could see little bits of skin color there and no detail at all. There's reflections or gosh knows what, but without it, you know, it would be like part of his face is missing. So we kind of needed that. And I think there's a little area right here that comes out. I'm going to draw that with a pencil. See that right there? I think there's a little area there that's coming out that is, you know, that area coming up to his eyebrow. Okay, so it's drying time. So rather than work on the rest on his face some more right now, we're going to work on the background some. So here I am, all well prepared. Here we go. So I really like this play between blue greens and yellow greens. So see, these back in here are a little bluer. This gets considerably yellower and lighter. And then in here, oh, it's kind of in between. But wouldn't it be fun to go back to a little bit more bluish green here? It's a little more bluish. We might exaggerate that. Let's see what we can do. So, clean out the palette. And a yellow green, well, there is nothing like this nickel azo. Okay, that makes a great yellow green. And to keep from getting, oh, should we? Maybe we won't keep from getting too loud. Maybe we'll go for loud. We'll pull a little Prussian blue into here. Remember, Prussian blue is made with phthalo. Let's see what this looks like. I don't think I have enough mixed up. I mean, I've really been chinchy with this here. Let's get a little more yellow. Yeah, I think we need a little more blue now. Let's go with that. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm just gonna, you know, kind of speckle that in here again a little bit. Oh, wait a minute, that's the wrong area. Haha. Goes in this middle area. Oh, that was it. I'm kind of dotting it in there. You know, that's just a little too olivey, isn't it? You know, it would have been better if I'd made that nice spring green that I like to do. I think it's a little bit too late, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, so don't do what I just showed you. Do what I'm fixing to show you. So let's go back to, I love using cobalt teal because I just think it's gorgeous. And let's use a little cad yellow pale. And a little more yellow, I think. I think a little more yellow. Generally, you don't put the darker color in first. You'd put the light color in first and then add little bits of dark to it. But when you're working with an opaque, like cadmium yellow, when you're working with an, I think I'm going to have to do something about my dog. Sophie was playing with a water bottle, so she's kind of loud. So you see all this botched up area that I have where I put color in and blotted it. Oh, that's just going to make it more foliagey-ish. Okay, so let's see what this does. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice, happy green. For our, dare I say it, happy little trees. I'm going to pull that. This area is a little darker, but I'm going to pull a little more yellow-green back under the tip of the hat. Behind the tip of the hat, I should say. That's very yellow. Maybe too yellow. Okay, so let's see. What should we do for our blue-green? Well, that's certainly blue. Let's pull some of this over and see. Oh, is that too exaggerated? Possibly. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, I like it there. Now, this is still wet over here. So some of these are going to blend a little bit. I'm just dabbing them in. I'm not, I hate to use the word dab around y'all, but I'm dabbing them in. I'm not stroking and making them blend. So, well, I didn't mean to go that far. I forgot I had a different plan in mind. Oh well, new plan. And that foliage definitely stops at the glasses because there is a glare on the, or I shouldn't say glare, but the lens that makes a distortion so that it doesn't show the green going behind it. So that's a good way to show the glasses. I think I want a little more blue. And this is going to go up in behind here. So then the far off area could go a little bluer. There's almost some hints of purple back there. That's not blue enough. And it's a little too dark. Well, what do we do about that? We do this. Ah, perfect. That's just a start to a nice lacy area. We may, you know, of course you could do nice smooth shapes there. And a lot of this, when I'm doing it, is just a matter of what kind of mood I'm in. So I was just in the mood to make a little shapes. You know, it's okay to let your mood influence what you do, or I think so. In fact, I think that helps you make discoveries if you're open to being influenced by your mood. Let's take some of this blue now. That's dried a little bit. Let's take some of this blue and just add a little more blue into some spots here. It's partially dried. It'd be lovely if we got a few little runbacks here, but we probably won't because I'm using cerulean, and it really isn't the kind of inky thing that flows very much. Oh dear, what is this? Have I gone over the edge of the hat? Oh, I think I got too happy. There, now it looks like it's part of the... Yeah, I'm making that too predictable, but we could use a little shadow along here too. Okay, we will stop with that for now. This does not mean that this is the finished thing. It just means that that's enough for that layer for right now. So what are we going to do about these grapes? Gee, I had to take up all my color. Oh, what do I want to take up? Well, I've got an extra tube of can't say it now, quin coral, so I'll take up the quin coral. Let's put some grape color in here. I did mention, did I not, at the beginning of all this, that when I traced this, I just put the little dots for the fencing. In fact, I think that the fencing, I guess it does come over here, but it's kind of messed up and you can't see the little dots. But I really want to continue those little dots over here. I guess a lot of them wouldn't show. That's the problem. We'll do one there anyway. You know, I could cheat and just change the distances here. That may be distracting. That may not should go there. I'm not going to take it out. I'd love to keep it. We'll see. I've seen great things done with wire fencing. I even did something cool in a drawing one time many years ago with wire fencing. That chicken wire stuff. It's cool. Okay, so this is dry. And let's just mix up, I tell you what, we'll go with the Prussian. I do have phthalo blue on my palette. I just almost never dip into it. And one of the two reasons is because I don't tell people to buy it. It doesn't mean that it can't be absolutely wonderful. But I already have you using phthalo green, and that's scary enough without having two bright phthalos on the palette. I just don't know if I could keep control of the class. Okay, there's a purple. So this was with the Prussian blue and the rose, I think. See what that's going to look like. Okay, that's nice. Oh, no, it's not. It's not blue enough. I want a bluer purple than this. And you know what? The Prussian's really not going to get me there. You know what would get me there? What would get me there would be ultramarine. I didn't pre-wet it. Ultramarine supposedly is not opaque, but I think it carries a little opacity to it. You could also, oh, we could also use cobalt. That would be great here. Either one. I don't have either of them wet down. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's mix a little more of the red into it. Now, here's where I am going to be kind of careful about my edges. And I think I'm going to pick up little bits more of this ultramarine. Where'd it go? That is it. Okay. I just got all the water out of it. It didn't look like ultramarine there. Okay. I might just let that blue dominate just a little bit more, because now that I've seen it, I like it. You know, once I put the other purple down there and I saw that I didn't have the bluishness, there's some bluishness here in the photo, but I decided I liked the bluishness, and then when I made it bluer, I thought I'd like it even bluer than that. Okay, that's the way you paint. You don't paint by a designated plan. Well, some people can, because I guess they know what they're going to do, but I don't. So, okay, I'm going to keep this edge wet down here. And I'm going to come around this side. Oh, I spattered over the fingers. That'll be okay. But I think I will go to smaller brush. I think I want a lot of blue here because I'm on top of no, I'm not. I was thinking there was yellow in there, but there's not. See, this is nice and wet. If I'm painting a portrait, I don't want, you know, like if I was doing a commission, I don't want a background in the face. Unless, you know, my customer is someone who is very adventurous and would like a background in their face. But other than that, I think an occasional background, I got a little place going in the finger I don't like. I think of an occasional background is a fun thing to have. Now, you don't want this to be as dark as the grapes in the picture for two reasons. One, I don't ever want to get as dark as the grapes in the picture. I don't think. I may change my mind because I get to do that as many times as I want. But I want more blue again. Yeah, I'm liking that blue. But also because I want to be able to come back and add more shape in here, you know, internally to the grapes. And so if I go too dark, then I really don't have the latitude to, add those changes. There, I like that. Okay, he's wearing, look at the shirt he's wearing. It's actually, if I look at it real hard, I can see a little bit of plaid in it and stuff. I'm not going to mess with that. I don't think. I might change my mind, but I think I'm going to make it on the purplish side. And this time, I'll use the ultramarine, but I think I'll go a little bit more purplish because it's a dark shirt and the attention ought to be more to the grapes. I think I'll tilt that. Let's let that color run back this way. And I don't care if I get a run back, but I think it's so wet it's not going to do it. Okay. So let's put a little bit of rose in here. A little rose goes a long ways. Rose is a very strong, very staining color. Rose and ultramarine do separate. Daniel Smith sells it, and they call it, what do they call it? I don't remember what they call it. They call it something, but, Imperial. Imperial purple. But all it is a mixture of, that you can make with two colors you've got anyway. So, why bother? This little tie thing is black. I guess we'll just go ahead and cover it up. So I'm already going to have to pay attention to the edges of the beard here. I got a little sloppy and got over that cute little bead thing there. There, that'll give me a little bit of beardy edge there. I think his beard's got a neater trim on it than what I put here. Okay, once I get around that bead, let's just get a little bit bigger brush again, get this over with before it starts drying on me. You know, this area is really, really light here. There. Because again, this will get more shape on top of it. Let's just add a little, you know, when you blot, sometimes you make a drier area just where you blotted. So the better strategy is to get it wetter there, squeeze out your brush, and soak up some of this. I just want to leave, I'm not making the folds and stuff yet. I just want to leave a lighter area behind, and quite frankly, as I started it, I wasn't thinking about that. And then what I can do, since this is really wet, is I can add a tiny bit of water back in here. Oh, anyway, I was going to say that the Queen Rose and the Ultramarine do tend to separate. And they will separate right here on your painting if it's really wet. And they will definitely separate here in the well. So if you want to keep the mixture even, which most of the time I don't care, but if you want to keep the mixture even, you need to stir it frequently. Okay. There's a nice start. We've got some nice... Sometimes I get tired of the word nice. So if I do something with this road over here, I may just actually put in kind of a gray. I mean a gray mixture. I want to keep it almost white. Okay, I think that that is enough for the first lesson. You got plenty to do this week.